Hello lovelies, how are you all doing? I hope you're well on this gorgeous sunny day. I'm feeling very luxe today because I don't have any massive bowl of strawberries for breakfast. Can't wait. Actually, they're from a neighbour. She's given me, it's over a kilo of strawberries. Oh, I can't wait to get stuck in. I haven't had fresh strawberries for, oh my goodness, 3-4 years, maybe more, since the allotment days. It's such a treat. Tennis, strawberries, but also birthday and strawberries. Got a couple more birthday treats. Yeah, for our birthdays when we were kids, we generally didn't have a cake. I can't remember many cakes, but we were always allowed to pick something special for our birthday tea. And mine was the same every year. I just always wanted a meringue nest filled with tons of strawberries. Still do love that. That went on into my 20s, 30s, even as a grown-up. So yes, beautiful gift from a neighbour, over a kilo of strawberries. That's what I'm going to eat today. I'm going to gorge and gorge and gorge. But they're just so beautiful, aren't they? That colour. I'm kind of frock strawberry coordinated. So, it has been my birthday. It was. It's been and gone. I just wanted to say a couple of thank yous before I tuck into the rest of today. Loads of cards, lovely cards, but I just picked out a couple that I particularly enjoyed. This one, oh, light. That's from a friend of mine, and it's a friend of hers who painted it, but I love it. A seagull in wellies. And then this one from Barbara, full steam ahead, with a steam train on it. Thank you, Barbara, and for your gift. Thank you so much. Lovely to have cards. I also had a couple of parcels, and I had one parcel that was just so beautifully wrapped. The bow was even on the outside, as in it's coming through the post with a bow on it. When my postie rang the doorbell, he handed over some cards, letters, what have you, and then from behind his back he sort of went, and this, it's gorgeous, from Sarah and Ian. And what was lovely, it's all sorts of lovely bits and bobs, foodie bits and bathroom bits. These have all gone now, but a selection of baklava. Oh my goodness, beautiful. I opened these while Richard and Paul were visiting during my birthday. You'll see a bit of them in a minute. And I'd said to them, the irony of that is, literally about a week before, I don't know why, I'd got baklava in my head and I suddenly really, really wanted some. I think I must have watched a film or something and they were eating it, and I thought, oh, and I don't have a Turkish supermarket here, but I know that Richard and Paul have one near them. And I thought, because I knew they were coming down, I thought, I'm going to message them and say, could you bring me some baklava down? I'll pay for it, but can you just bring some down for me? And then I thought, no, that's too naughty. That's too much of a treat. So yeah, to have a whole box of it on my birthday. Gorgeous. Thank you so much. And all the bits. Actually, there was this as well. It's a little tin. And this, I won't get it out for now because I'll get sticky moist. But it's hand cream, but it's a solid bar. How great. So it smells beautiful. Lavender, geranium, sweet orange, lime, frankincense, myrrh and clove. Made by the Edinburgh Natural Skincare Company. So let me show it to you there. Oh, where's the light? It's tricky today. There we go. Yeah, beautiful. Also, I've left it inside. Richard's crocheted a gorgeous scarf. And those of you who watch his channel or watch his vlogs, you'll have seen him in the making. It's absolutely beautiful in a gorgeous blue. So my colour, but that'll be for winter. You'll see it in the winter. And then Paul gave me this book, which I've been hankering to read for ages, The Seed Detective by Adam Alexander, uncovering the secret histories of remarkable vegetables. Brilliant. Can't wait to read it. I've got quite a stack of books now, so I'm not sure when I'll get around to it, but when I do, I will be sure to tell you all about it and what I think. Ooh, get a bit of wind. I'm sure it's going to be brilliant. Also, only a couple more, and then we're going to move on to, we're going to leave Swanage. My gorgeous friend Kate, who introduced me to Dale Pinnock, the medicinal chef. You know, I've now made that chickpea and sweet potato bake. Also made it when the guys were here. They loved it too. Kate sent me this for my birthday. Plant-based diet, how to eat vegan and stay healthy. Thing is, I'm not vegan. So the note from Kate inside, and Nor's Kate likes her cheese too. It said, I won't tell you the personal bits of the message. I hope this book inspires more gorgeous meals, and you can add cheese on top. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, whack a bit of cheese on top. So what a lovely, I'll put it that way for the light, what a lovely present from Kate. And then this is very random. This came all the way from France from Joanne, and it's another Tour de France guide, fab. It's all in French, so I'm going to get to practice my French a bit. And thank you, Joanne, for the euros she sent. I will do something treaty with them, but yeah, it's going to test my French, isn't it? How great. So yeah, I feel thoroughly spoiled, and quite right. I think everybody should feel thoroughly spoiled on their birthdays. That's what birthdays are about. It's about spoiling your loved one. Oh, paper flapping around. Now, as said, the chaps, whoops, let's tuck that in there. The chaps came down for a visit, just a few days, and I knew the weather was going to be like this. Very sunny, fairly hot, not as hot as they've had it in London. So I thought maybe what they'd like for a walk, instead of being out in this, would be to go and walk in the woods. So we went off to Langton-le-Travers. That's the village my grandparents used to live in, a couple of miles up the road. And from the top of the village, one then cuts down towards the valley to go to visit Wilkes Wood. We weren't under Milkwood, we were under Wilkes Wood, so QVT. Oh, well, it's another really warm, sunny day. So me and the chaps, we've come up to Langton. Morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
Are there adders in this area?
Yeah, you're standing in the middle of town.
So we've come up to Langton, my grandparents' old village, and we're dropping down into the valley to come into Wilkes Wood, where we used to come quite a lot as we were kids, but I haven't been here for years, decades. So we're sort of following our noses to find our way, to spend some time in the woods, to shade ourselves, and basically have a famous 5-day away from the madding crowds and out of the glare of the scorching sunshine. And we're spotting all sorts of lovely butterflies along the way. Just spotted one that's completely unknown to me, so I have to look it up when I get home. It's a little black and white, it looks sort of spotted, black and white spotted butterfly, good heavens. Anyway, we're going to continue tramping on. I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Just coming into slightly more tree cover, and there's a gorgeous, gorgeous cuckoo pint. Absolutely love this plant. I did look at it for my shade garden, but it's rather poisonous, so I thought better of it. But isn't that beautiful in this dappled light? So we're just coming. Thank you for assisting, Paul. We're just coming out of the sort of more open brackeny areas, demonstrated by Paul, and we're coming into the woods proper now. Looks like there's been a bit of work going on. Oh, another butterfly basking. So many, this what I thought was spotty white, by the way. Paul's just looked it up and it's a marbled white. Beautiful. Into the woods we go, into the woods we go. I love those moments when the canopy opens up and this really strong bright light comes through, and then we're plunged almost immediately into really deep shade again. There should be a little stream down here, but it's completely dried up. Not surprised, we've hardly had a drop of rain. But look, oh my goodness, masses and masses of hart's tongue ferns lining the banks. Beautiful. And now a gorgeous, gorgeous breeze to help cool us too. It would have been quite nice, actually, if the stream had got a bit of water in it. Take shoes and socks off and have a paddle. So much beautiful moss too. I really need to learn to identify different mosses, but time to learn. More heart's tongues. More heart's tongues. Gnarly roots that act as steps. It's lovely and peaceful. Right, catch up with the chaps, I think, who are enjoying this dappled light very much. This is what you call beetle heaven. Oh, imagine the hundreds and hundreds of beetles who are currently making this home and chomping their way through the wood.
And solitary bees.
Yeah, solitary bees, well, all sorts. I mean, stag beetles like an old wood pile as well. God, there's a lot of timber in there, isn't there?
Timber!
Beautiful. Just going around the corner. We've come out actually into a bit of an opening, and it's very bright and very warm again, so gosh, look at all this bracken. They could do with some sheep up here. So yeah, we're going to dive back into the woods, get cool, and maybe stop somewhere to have our picnic lunch. We've all got picnic lunch with us today. Yay! We don't have any ginger beer though. Oh, it was so lovely. It's so lovely there. At one point, after where that big log pile was, and we walked sort of around. I should say it wasn't, I didn't really quite understand what was going on when we were there, but there were quite a lot of paths that were closed off, and it's because of ash dieback, and hence that log pile as well, where these beautiful huge ashes have died. They're dangerous because they could fall. Anyway, so we went around and into the wood from a different direction. Just then we must have disturbed a deer. I didn't get a long enough look to identify what kind of deer, but it was big, and it proinged off through and just that gorgeous dappled light of the trees, it proinged off. But that whole walk was beautiful because it was just buzzing with life. The butterflies, my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen so many butterflies in one place in one go. It's astonishing. About the sort of second clip of that bit that you just saw, I was trying to close in on. They're so hard to film, but there was an orangey looking one on top of the bushes. So at home, identified it. It's a bit of a misnomer. It was actually the dark green fritillary. I'm wondering if the green is on the underside of its wings, so when it's open, it's orange with brown spots. When it closes, anyway, yeah, I had to write it down. A dark green fritillary. But at one point, we came into one slight opening where lots of sort of bushy growth, some buddleia, bracken, brambles, and it was like, if you imagine a silk scarf floating down from the sky, a huge silk scarf made of butterflies, it was as if that had descended from the sky and had just settled across the top of all this undergrowth. Literally everywhere one looked, butterflies doing their thing. It's so beautiful, and it's just such a joy for me. I mean, I know the guys enjoyed it too, but to just be immersed in nature. It's not silent in the woods, there are noises, it's nature getting on with things, but to just be away from people and cars and towns and absolute joy. So yeah, that was lovely. Bit of a stretch for my old legs, but it was worth it. And then the next day, we had the opportunity to, because quite often the guys, they leave to go back to London on a Saturday, and I'd said, if you can stay over on your next visit, stay over till the Sunday, we can do something that we can only do on a Saturday, because it's not open, you'll see more in a second, it's not open to do during the week because it's part of Ministry of Defence land. So stay over one extra day and we can all go and visit Tyneham. So here's a bit of footage from Tyneham. We've just come over to Tyneham, 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 the ghost village. There are the chaps looking in the village pond. Yeah, try and show you around a little bit and tell you a bit about the history, but there's quite a few other people around, so I might not be able to do as much as I wanted, but this is us coming into the village. Can you make out the Edwardian white telephone box? I'm going to just close you in a bit so you can see it. That's the old telephone box. Okay, let's go and have a closer look at some of what's left of the cottages. I'll tell you a bit about what went down here and why this is an abandoned village. Actually, I'm sure many of you will know the story, but let us proceed anyway. So this is what's left of this little terrace of cottages. You can see there's a fireplace, the first floor. Actually, in the last few years, a lot of work's been done to not restore, but to preserve what's here. So the story with Tyneham is, in December 1943, you've got to imagine it, just a few days before Christmas, planning was underway for the Normandy landings, which would happen the next year. So yeah, we were deep in the war. Something had to give. So the Normandy landings were planned, and the army decided that they would requisition this village because beyond that, there's always been an MOD presence. But they wanted to, they wanted actually, down that way is access to the coast, so they wanted to practice their manoeuvres. So they requisitioned the village. The villagers were told to leave, go and stay elsewhere, which they did. They famously left a note on one of the doors of one of the houses, or was it on the schoolroom door, I think, that says, "Please look after our village." They were told they would be able to return. But I think it was in 1948, so 5 years later, a decision was finally made that it was actually in the nation's interest to allow the MOD to keep using this whole area for training, for tactical manoeuvres, etc., etc. So the villagers never did get back. So there were about, let me see if I can go into one of the houses now. I'm just worrying about how many people there are around. Yeah, there are about 250 villagers in about 100 cottages. Whoops. So there's a lot of people. Hang on, let me wait till those folk have gone. Yeah. Oh, that's our pool. Wasn't expecting to see our pool. Yeah, not a huge amount left. Small cottage. Oh, and there's our Richard. This one's got a bit of roof remaining. Stone roof. Look how thick it is. Yeah, so let me carry on telling you what I wanted to tell you. So it was about 250 people, 100 homes, and I believe, because they were mostly tenant farmers, in fact this first cottage that I was just in, showing the fireplace, that's actually the shepherd's cottage. There was something like, I think it was over 1,000 head of livestock had to be rehomed, so cows and sheep mainly, but yeah, 1,000 head of livestock also moved. I mean, just the logistics of it, of maybe a cart, horse cart, some cars, but yeah, get out, get your animals out, we're taking over, we need it for the war effort. Oopla, don't trip. The first floor, obviously the floor's gone. This one that I'm just leaving now, this was the post office, so a bit posher and having 2 floors on this little row. But there really are very small homes. Teeny, oops, Vivi, get up the slope, but teeny tiny homes. So if you imagine that this, from the outside, that's it. You see through to the back, well, that's it, that's your home. I'm going to walk through this one. I don't know the story. Sorry.
And many people didn't like him, including the man who wanted him.
Coming out the back door.
Because he didn't like him, he called one of his villains Goldfinger. That was the whole reason he walked off him. He didn't like him.
So yeah, very mostly very humble people. Tenant farmers, labourers, farm labourers, all up to sticks. What I don't know is, imagine if someone was 2 or 3 years old, then they would be 86 or so now. If there's anyone still alive who was an original inhabitant of the village. I think what's lovely, and I'm keeping my voice down too, is it's very quiet here. I mean, look, Purbeck is fairly quiet anyway, but I think people walking around are sort of respectful that this was once homes, and I mean, it's not a tragedy. If people weren't killed, they were just asked to leave their homes. But yeah, people are giving it a bit of reverence by mostly being quiet. Yeah, it's very peaceful in the back. Okay, let's walk up to, that's the schoolroom, and over there is the church, and they are pretty much intact still. What I haven't said, and I probably should say, make clear, is that you can come. It's free to just walk around. Anyone can come here. It's a little car park. You can't get here on public transport, so you need to either walk in. It's a long walk. Or cycle or a car. There's a little car park donation payment, but you need to check when it's open, because all this reference, this was a military training ground, etc., etc. That all of this is still owned by the MOD, the Ministry of Defence, and it's still an active training area. It's a huge area stretches from Kimmeridge on the coast all the way over to Lulworth Cove. That big chunk in the middle, it's all army ranges. They call it the ranges. And most of the time it's closed to the public because they are firing. It's a lot of tank training, tank manoeuvres they do. However, in the summer, they are pretty much open every weekend, so if you want to come in the summer. I think over Christmas they do a couple of days where basically the roads get completely shut. You cannot pass, you cannot get in. It's sealed off. Fort Knox for the army, but there are opportunities. So if you fancied coming, just go online and check to see when Tyneham is open, or if you put into your Google search, when are the Lulworth ranges open? As in open, we can come onto the land. Not much land. Everywhere there are signs. Keep out, danger, mines. So yeah, the fact that the MOD do own so much of this land is part of the reason why it's so beautiful and unspoilt and unbuilt on. So in a way it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Be grateful for that great swathes of the area are its nature thriving, left to its own devices. Right, I think the schoolroom might be emptying, so let's go and have a little look. Look, our little coat hooks. Adorable. Did Dorothy mind being a shaggy ink cap? Oh, and of course, our famous adder snakes. Just a single room school. There's their benches. Teacher's desk. Oh dear, complete with cane. What they're studying for the day. Write a story about a favourite walk from Tyneham. Well, the walk down through Tyneham Goyle to the beach is a nice one. That'll keep you toasty. Only a bit of a stage. Complete with curtain. Little benches. These are the rectory cottages, because we're just a stone's throw from the church, but it's kind of hard to imagine. What's wonderful is, all around they now have photographs of how it did look. So, these two front doors, you see the one on the left with the straight lintel, the one on the right with the arched lintel, and now we can see it in all its dereliction. Straight lintel on the right, on the left, and the arched lintel on the right. Goodness me. I think I'm going to take you up and around and into the church. Yeah, let's go up there. I had been hoping, after mooching around the village, that we would walk to Warbarrow Bay. It's about a mile away, I'm not sure I can make it, I'll try. But going the route, via the route called Tyneham Goyle. Goyle is a great word. It's spelt G-W-Y-L-E, so it looks like Gwyl, but it's not, it's Goyle. It's an old Dorset word for what you might think of as a little glen, a sort of wooded gully, really, bottom valley, wooded gully with a stream running through it. So yeah, Tyneham Goyle, down to Warbarrow Bay, but the Goyle has been closed because, so sad, because of ash dieback. So that's the second time in 2 days we've seen it. We've seen access to places restricted because, of course, ash dieback means that in places we've got these huge old trees that are now dead and ready at any moment to topple. So, of course, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous to let people walk down that footpath. It's beautiful. Maybe one day in years and years to come, when they get on top of the ash and the dieback, maybe one day we'll come back and I'll walk you down Tyneham Goyle to Warbarrow Bay, because it is special. Little pews. Tiny pews. But look. It's amazing it has survived.
It's in a life. They weren't aiming at us.
No.
house. Oh, there's the big posh house. Yeah, so, like I said, I'm amazed that the stained glass is all so perfect and intact, because every now and again, you know, these are live firing ranges. Every now and again, a bit of stray shrapnel has hit the church, but fortunately, not the gorgeous stained glass. Oh, lovely bosses on the ceiling. I do love a good boss. They make you dizzy. So that's the lovely Tyneham church with a little mini gallery up there for any days that the church is super full. There we go again. I love this, so clever. This is all dry stone walled. In other words, there's not an ounce of mortar, concrete, cement anywhere. But look, they've changed the direction of some of the stones as they've done it to spell out Tyneham Farm. That's so clever. What skill? That's crazy skill. Yeah, that's brilliant. I love it. He loves what I do. Bravo, whoever did that. Oh, it's nice in the breezy shade under a tree on a hot summer's day. Just coming around to the farm and the farm buildings and into the farmyard. Of course it's all disused. Now it was, as you know, the village was emptied, but there are some buildings still to see, which, well, that's been quite extensively, not renovated, what's the word? Rescued. Restored. Not even restored. When it's just being held up from falling down. I can't think of the word. And then one of the larger barns. Here we can go in. There's a lovely hay cart in here.
They've done a grease one, they've done a Mamma Mia one. They're really good.
Oopla. It's like a dog trot barn. Oh, it's nice and cool in here. Look, what a gorgeous cart.
Can you lift them some coffee?
Cool. Oh, seed drills. Yeah, beautiful old. I was going to say hay cart. It's more like a hay wagon, isn't it? It's huge. Oh, sorry. Not watching where I'm going with my silly wobbly legs. And then out through the other side. Oh, this is a seed or grain store. The camera adjusts to the light. A seed or grain store, and you can see it's on these little sort of like mushroom things. They're called staddles. Let's see if I can. I'm going to come and stand with my back to the light, so hopefully it will. There we go. As you can see it now. Yeah, they're called staddles, and it's just to stop rodents getting in, to spoil whatever's being stored, like I said, grain or seed. With the shape of the mushrooms, the rodents can they might be able to scrabble up a bit, but then the lip of the mushroom confounds them and they can't get in or up. Oh, it's a bit busy down there. It's a little wildflower area before the path that wends its way, to the beach down to Warbarrow Bay. It's a lovely bay. Let's have a look at some flowers. Let's look at the flowers. pretty, pretty. They've been making new dry stone walls here. Gorgeous. I do love a bit of a dry stone wall. And there's a little panel there, over there, explaining the different parts of the wall. Yeah, so this is another yard, which you can pour just in the large barn. Back around to the other barn and the other yard. Gorgeous. Oh, I loved going back to Tyneham. I haven't been for about 5 or 6 years. Last time I was there, I was with my sister. It was pouring with rain and empty of people. But yeah, it was lovely to go back. And if for no other reason, the drive over there is so beautiful, gorgeous. And like I said, most of the time it's shut. You can't go, as in the roads. But these beautiful, so you have winding lanes with big hedgerows. You can't necessarily see what's going on. But then every now and again you'll come around a corner and this whole vista will open up. The countryside down here is beautiful. It's very gentle and rolling. You get views of sort of the valleys, hills, downlands, chalk downlands, edges of scarps where it's actually a cliff, and then whoa, you'll get a vista of the sea. It's stunning. And as we were driving down there, in my head, I just kept sort of saying over and over to myself, yeah, I really did come home. I'm really glad to be home. So, yeah, it was really special. It just, like I said, even just have that drive over there, because the thing with Tyneham is you can't get there on public transport. There's no public transport. Most of the time it's shut anyway. So that gorgeous road, actually you can do some of the road from Corfe if you're going through the villages of Church Knoll and Steeple. But the really great views come as you get closer to Tyneham, as you get into the ranges. So if you ever have an opportunity, grab it and do it. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And like I said, it just reaffirms, cements the fact that I came home. How wonderful. Right, now, my strawberries are getting warm. I haven't even had one yet. Oh, that's good. Oh, taste memory. How fabulous. All right, my lovelies. I will see you all again really soon. The next one will be a garden tour. Next after that, probably getting stuck into some gardening, just looking at it today and thinking there's quite a lot needs doing out here in terms of tying in and looking after. It's going to be hot, another hot sunny day today, but I'll pop my hat on, pop my sunnies on, and I'll be more than content to get on with the work. So until the next one, please take care, lovelies. Cheerio.